Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now listening to Rob and Rat's World of Wonder podcast. So sit back, relax, and prepare your ears as they take you on a journey of all things weird and wonderful.
Hello!
Hello and welcome to the Rob Rat podcast.
We're
I'm
back.
Rob. I'm Rob.
I'm Rats.
And you're very welcome along. If you're a first time listener, thanks for finding us and listening in. And if you've come back, thanks for coming back.
We're glad to have you.
We're very glad to have you. We're two lads from the west of Ireland just having the crack. And we're looking at weird and wonderful things from all around the world.
That's what it's all about. That's what this podcast is about.
That's why we're here, guys.
Today's episode, we're talking about Guinness World Records.
Guinness.
It's a worldwide brand, and it's a big thing, and it's something kind of special to us because we have a Guinness World Record.
We have one, and we'll tell you all about it in a while. Stay tuned.
After the news.
Here's the news.
Rob and Rat's Weird and Wonderful News.
Okay, so this is the news.
You're welcome along. Here's the news. So, do you want to hit us up with the first story there, Steve?
Yeah, my story is in Las Vegas,
Nevada.
Yes. So recently, a 9-year-old boy took his mom's car for a drive around Las Vegas. Police say. So police received a call around 8:45 a.m. from a bystander who claimed to have spotted the boy driving in the northern suburb of Las Vegas. One witness, Mark Cabigan, said he saw the vehicle swerving in and out of traffic and he tried to alert other drivers. I really thought he was drunk, Mark told reporters. Police pulled him over 6 miles from where he left.
Drove for 6 miles?
6 miles, yeah, from where he left. Police said no one was hurt and the youngster was released to his mother. No citations were issued. You can actually check out the video of him driving on their social media. I've got a little clip there
very
that we
good.
can see.
Good stuff.
But like, he was about 9 years
9
old.
years
he
of
took the
age.
car.
That's probably not the strangest thing you'll see in Vegas.
No, but like he's
is,
very lucky that he didn't crash into anyone or hit anyone.
Yeah.
But like he's not like he.
9 years of age.
That's the thing about it as well. You know, now I know people always say this, but video games and driving cars and
yeah.
I
Even
think
like Grand Theft Auto
Yeah,
and
but
stuff,
younger
yeah.
people, I think the kids have no fear anyway. A lot of kids, I find, have no fear. But luckily, no one was hurt. But that's hilarious. The fact he took the car and just went off.
Jeez, yeah.
See, most cars in America are automatic.
It's automatic, probably a bit easier to
So
drive.
it's easier to drive.
Yeah.
Here you'd conk out.
You would, yeah, just conk the car, yeah.
We actually, funny story, side of news.
Go on.
We hot-wired a steamroller when we were younger.
Right.
In my estate where we grew up,
Yeah.
a few of us, there was a steamroller parked at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And this hill now goes down onto the main Westport Road, which is a busy road. You know
Yeah,
the
I
estate
know the
grew
road.
up in.
I know the road.
Okay, so there was a steamroller there. What we were doing, we were about 8, 9 and 10.
Yep.
We were getting on the steamroller.
There's 3 of you, was there?
Yes. We had a flat nail, right?
Stephen and his imaginary friends.
Yeah. Me and my imaginary friend. No. We got a flat nail and we were putting it into the ignition,
it,
right?
yeah,
If
yeah.
you turn the key slightly, what would happen is the kind of engine would kick up.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't start, but you could just beep the horn.
Yep.
So we kept just taking taking the nail out that was flattened, putting it on a bit and beeping the horn. We thought it was great crack. However, one time we put it in, we turned it too far. And what we didn't realise was the steamroller just goes.
Just goes, yeah. It's in like gold.
So we panicked and all jumped off it. And it started to veer down towards the Westport Road.
No way.
Yeah, oh man.
Out onto the main road.
My mother killed me.
Out
It
onto the
started
main
to go
road.
towards the main road, but then luckily for us, it just, through life of its own, it veered and went into this woman. She was about
It went into this woman.
No.
Luckily enough, it hit some woman.
No.
Her like a pancake.
No, it went into her fence of her
okay,
house and
right,
it destroyed her fence and crushed her trees.
Yeah.
But she was annoyed her fence was destroyed. But if I kept going, it probably would have. Well, it wouldn't gone through the wall of her house. It done some damage to her garden and her fence, but thank God it didn't kill anyone.
And what did you do? Did you just leg it?
We ran and then someone had spotted us and told our parents.
So they're going to know, like, to
my
be
mo-
honest, if that happens in your estate when you're young, you're probably getting the blame anyway.
Yeah. Why? I know.
Do you know what I mean?
My
They
mother
probably
went,
know it's you.
Yeah. My mother went crazy. She actually walloped me with a shoe.
Yeah.
I
Her
deserved
shoe?
it.
Your shoe?
Her shoe. And she
Yeah.
was actually saying she wanted it.
Did you take it off and they
she
hit you with it?
genuinely wanted
Did you take it off? Yeah.
She genuinely wanted to leave me in the police station overnight.
Yeah.
She was seeing if they'd let me go into a cell for the night
Yeah,
to teach me a lesson.
That's learn, yeah.
Yeah. Have you any nice stories?
Well, I similarly went down the bottom of my estate when I was a kid. There was a tractor, and you used to be able to start that with a flat nail. And like, obviously, I think it was the builder said they must just know that must be a trick. They flatten the nail and they can use it.
Maybe they'd have left there.
Yeah, they did. And
Yeah.
it's a flat nail. It's kind of it's curved a bit as well, so you can turn
Okay,
it right.
yeah.
And there was an old tractor, and we used to start the tractor and drive it round. And not me now, but somebody started the tractor and it lost control and drove through the front of one of the houses that was being built. And,
lucky it was just being built. Like.
Yeah. The tractor was destroyed and the house was wrecked. But it wasn't me, right? But someone else. Yeah.
I wonder who.
Yeah, speaking in Vegas as well, like I think I heard that was a kid there, but there was some story like a while ago about some boy whose parents, I don't know, like they weren't around or whatever, and he was only young. And he got him like he was about 8, and he got his like 4-year-old brother, and they got into the car and they wanted to go for like burgers, so he took the car and went for like a drive-through at McDonald's, and he bought the burgers and everything, and he got pulled over by the cops then.
God, but like, who in McDonald's gave him the burgers? I was thinking,
probably some 16-year-old who doesn't care, like handing out burgers.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some story. I don't know the full details of it. Just remind me of it. Yeah, you had a bit of an incident with a car there recently, did you?
Oh God! Okay, right. The last time we recorded the last episode, on the way home, I actually I rear-ended. She was an older lady. What happened was, look, I don't want to get to the ins and outs, but in case she's listening.
Is it coast to coast?
No, my car was fine.
But you've been drinking quite heavily here before you left.
Yeah. Look, I only had
you can barely drive. Like
I had 2 or 3 whiskies. I was not drinking.
No,
We did not condone.
No.
Look, I had a little tip with her. My car was fine. Hers was a bit damaged. I offered to pay for it. Do you know, we have plenty of money from the podcast.
Loads. Yeah, just take it out of the fund. Yeah,
the podcast.
Out of mixed wages.
I know, it's fine anyway. She's grand.
No damage done, really.
No, just 2 people died.
Yeah, it's sure. Look, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right, so we go to another news story. Right, there was a woman in France.
You're joking.
There was a woman in France. Now there's no women left in France. There was a 96-year-old woman, and she wanted to have her house inspection done. People come in and they kind of value the house, you know, hoping to sell her belongings at auction. It turned out a small painting in her kitchen turned out to be a lost masterpiece sitting on above the hot plate. It was a 13th century masterpiece believed to be worth upwards of $6.6 million, and she can't remember where she got it, but experts have identified it as Christ Mocked is the name of the painting. It's by a Florentine Renaissance artist called Simbau.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but so that was sitting in her house. She doesn't know how long it's been there or where it came from, but that was just sitting on her mantelpiece. Like,
God, that's amazing. Like, people do not know. You don't know what you have. That
You'd
might
be delighted if she
valuable.
was your granny.
Oh, you would.
Like, she's 96. She's not going to be living around much longer.
Oh, definitely.
Even like, still, if it was your granny, she might give you. You know what I mean?
Do you know what?
6.6 million.
Yeah. God, that's class,
isn't it?
Like, she's only a couple of years to spend that.
Yeah.
If that was me now,
Vegas,
I'd be like, I'm 96. I'll be gone in a few years. To hell with my family. I'm spending every cent on myself.
Yeah. But like, you know, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is class.
Yeah, it's a nice story.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Have I got something more depressing? No.
Have you got any depressing stories?
Do you know what I think? For me, I think that is the news for this week.
Okay, well, I've got.
For me,
oh, it's for you. Yeah, he's signing off. I'll continue on here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So flying on planes, right, can be kind of annoying, right? But there's a Japanese airline whose name I had, but I don't know what it is now. Anyway. Basically, they've developed a new app and on the website that when people check in, you tell them if you've got a child or not. So if you're traveling with your child and you book a seat, then it comes up when you're booking a seat that you don't want to sit near the children.
Okay, so it's like a map that tells you
and it can tell you like where the kids are on the plane, and you can try and stay away from them.
Yeah.
So crying babies, because like on long haul flights, like I flew back from Dubai before, and I got onto the plane, and there was like 3 seats, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 3 seats, and 3 seats, 4 seats, and 3 seats, you know, across the plane. And I was sitting there, and my seat was like in the middle, and beside me was a couple either side, and they had a baby.
But did you not say to them, do you want to sit beside
you? Yeah, I did. And they had a newborn baby on their lap.
Okay.
Right, because I don't know, you don't have, like if they're very young,
and their ears pop and all.
Yeah, but we hadn't even taken off yet, and the woman sitting beside me goes, "Oh, I've spoken to the air hostess. She's going to see if she can sort something else out, right?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, fine, whatever." And then the air hostess came down just before the flight took off, and I thought she was going to take them, but the air hostess took me and brought me right up to the front of the plane, and it's to the place where there's no seat in front of you, the front wall, the very front row.
So you load the room.
I had a whole row of 4 seats to myself.
Oh, so you were happy
so
out.
I flipped up all the seat handles and lay down and slept the whole way home. It was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, but that's grand.
But they got fine. They were sound, but I thought they were going to get the looked at.
So basically, the idea of the airline, they have a little map on the app that lets you know where there's a child. I think it's between the ages of like being born and
just babies that
2 years old
like, and wreck your head on the plane.
Yeah, well, it's good for people. I suppose.
It is.
I know, like it is annoying if
you
you're
have kids who are used to it. But I suppose if I was going to go on a plane,
but I still it annoys
they
me.
They kick the back of your seats and they're crying.
Yeah.
I
still find kids annoying, even though
kids
I have
are
kids.
Annoying.
Like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
I have one other news story that I was going to go for, but it doesn't seem to be loading up fair enough. So do you know what?
That was the news.
That was the news.
Rob and Rat's weird and wonderful news.
So that was the news.
That was the news.
Not a whole lot of news, but some news.
Oh, yeah. You need a bit of news every now and then.
And it's better than the news you flick on the telly. Like, if you flick on Sky News, it'll do your head in.
Oh, yeah. Stop. Yeah. Donald Trump and Brexit. Well, Sky News don't dabble too much in Brexit.
They do.
Do they?
They never shut up about it. That's all the news is about.
Sky News?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of CNN. I don't know why
they're probably just on about Trump, yeah. Anyway, look, that was the news. That was the news. So what are we talking about this week, Steve?
Today's episode, we are talking about the Guinness Book of Records and the Guinness World Records. It is a massive brand, a massive franchise. And later on, we'll be talking to Craig Glenday. Craig, who is the editor-in-chief of Guinness Book of Records. He's got a pretty cool job, and we'll hear a bit about what Craig does later.
And they've got nothing to do with Guinness, the drink. Sure they don't.
They don't. Sir Hugh Beaver, who, started the book.
Right, what's his name? Sir Hugh?
Hugh Beaver.
Hugh Beaver.
Yeah. He was the managing director of Guinness Brewery.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, but
so there is a link.
He went and started up, I think in the start... Now, I don't know if I'm exactly correct, but in the beginning,
doesn't matter. You don't have to
beginning, he had something to do with Guinness, but I think now it's entirely its own brand, separate to Guinness.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
Yeah, because I always just thought maybe like Guinness.
It's been around since 1955.
Has it? Yeah,
that's when the first book came out.
Jesus, okay.
And it's like still one of the a bestseller today.
Yeah, actually, I remember even as a kid, like even the cover is always like a really shiny cover, and you'd open up and it's always just like
it stands out.
It does,
it?
yeah, and it's a book because I remember you were going into like bookshops years ago, and your mum would be going like, get a book. I don't want a book, and then you get the Guinness Book of Records. I've got a book because it's not really a book, like it's not a story, it's a book.
But I think as well that is a lot of people do think about it when you're younger. It's a cool thing as a kid looking at. I still find them every Christmas we get it, and I find them just they're good crack to look at.
They are, yeah.
Like they measure things right. You can find in it the longest snake, the smallest waist, the biggest living cat, most children delivered in a single birth.
How many?
It's actually 8. You know your one
8?
Octomom? Have you heard of her?
I've heard something before.
Nadia Solomon. 8 kids, Octomom, yeah. 8 kids to be alive and healthy.
I heard something and it was like...
but I remember seeing videos of her. You can actually check her out on YouTube. I think
check this lady out.
Funnily enough, I think she did delve into porn as well.
Jesus.
I don't think I know she did.
I've seen it.
Someone told me. But Octomom, 8 kids in one go. And I remember just seeing a video of them all on the bed and they're kind of trying to give them bottles. And I think she's a single mother.
Because there was something before, right? I think like whoever it was years ago had like 6 babies and it was the most. And like they had won something like... they got like looked after by some company and everything, and they're being really.
Yeah, I think she
was sorted, but then someone came and had 7 babies, and the woman with the 6 babies lost all her sponsorship and everything that she was, she was depending on that kind of thing. She was like
keep her going.
She was like yesterday's news, and then she was kind of like
I know that's probably your one Octomom has taken over from. Yeah. What's the 7? What's 7? Octo is 8.
Shocked.
Okay, but 7 Shocktomon.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
It's like a Pokemon.
But
Octomon
is she's had her own
Pentagram B5. I don't know.
If anyone knows what it is,
get us on the Rob Rat podcast on Instagram.
But anyway, she has she's got her own TV shows and, as I mentioned, porn and things like that. No, so she's done all right.
She's doing all right. She's got a TV show. She's doing porn. She's got 8 kids.
Like we've always said, if the podcast doesn't do well, we could get into porn.
I thought if it went well, we were going to get into porn.
All right, I have to check.
Either way, we're getting into porn.
My wife. Yeah. Right. So Guinness is a best-selling book. Now it has Guinness Book of Gaming edition record.
Gaming's getting big, isn't it?
Yeah, gaming is a cool one as well. Like it's different. Like there's cool records in it. Things like the fastest time to complete Mario. Remember the old Mario game?
Yeah.
There's loads of records in it. Gaming is massive, but Guinness have kind of moved along with the times, and it's
but the game has got huge. Like they have like Olympics, and it's like young boys like making like millions.
Yeah.
Just like I've seen stadiums full of people watching people playing. Like I don't even know what the games are they're playing, but like. It's not FIFA.
I know a kid recently won something like 4 million for Fortnite competitions.
Fortnite. That's the big one.
Yeah, that is a massive one.
Like he won more than fucking what's his name, Tiger Woods did when he won his comeback there in the Masters. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's unreal. Yeah. But Guinness is cool. It measures all the weird and fascinating things that people have, like great achievements, things like there's everything. You're bound to find it in the Guinness
that's
book.
it. It's because like normally, like if you're the fastest runner in the world, that you're going to win something in the Olympics. But most people, but now like if you've got like the longest hair, or you got the you know what I mean? There's an
A
award?
popular one is the longest fingernails as well,
Yeah.
which we talk about, myself and Craig.
Okay.
We can mention a bit about our Guinness record, and we
Okay.
can talk about it slightly after the interview, because me and Greg mentioned it a bit also. But
You
we
and
have
Craig.
me and Craig,
Yeah.
Craig, and I believe I might have called him Craig a few
Because
times.
you've been calling him Greg, so his name is Craig, right?
It's Craig Glenday.
Yeah, but I suppose it can be confusing because the second name starts with a G, and you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
mix them up.
Yeah. My apologies to
But,
Craig.
yeah. So the Guinness World Record for calling the person the wrong name in the interview.
Yeah, we'll see in the interview. I think
I don't know.
may
Yeah,
have
I haven't
called
heard this
Craig.
interview yet.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing from him. Yeah,
you better be.
Yeah.
So we have our own Guinness we have our own Guinness World Record.
We do.
For hugging.
Yeah.
And that sounds a bit mad, but it was great crack. We did it for charity.
Yeah, we did.
And-
but before, you see, I didn't do. You've done it twice.
Yeah, I've done it twice, and
You've hugged like for 56 hours.
I think something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a tough record to do.
Yeah, like our one. So we did.
11,000 for charity was raised by them.
Yeah, like
around
it's
that.
pretty good. Like
Yeah.
we're great guys.
We are great.
But yeah, so what, like we stood. For people who were wondering, we're from Castlebar, west of Ireland, County Mayo, and we stood in the centre of the town in a little marquee
Yeah.
for 30 hours.
Oh, me, you, and a guy called Brian Cawley and
And
Nicky
Nicky
Kearney.
Kearney, yeah.
Four guys.
Four guys
A
from
group
Castlebar.
hug to raise money for charity and to
Yeah.
give us the title of Guinness
To get a world record, but also to raise money for charity. And
Yeah.
it was a, bit
It was
of
a
crack.
good cause.
Yeah, it was. And like the four of us kind of just stood there, and it was cold and kind of sad
Yeah.
and depressing at times.
But it was go crack.
it was
And
good crack, and people at the town were
it
quite
became
good.
an event, like
It
in
did.
itself,
It
didn't
did.
it?
Yeah, there's people coming to see us and stuff, and like
Sponsorships.
sponsored by Gilligan's Butchers in town.
A butcher came and fed us.
A butcher fed us, and
Gorgeous
yeah.
food.
I got a free haircut out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
Would you like to go and hear Greg's interview?
Yeah,
And
we'll
just
go to
see-
Craig's interview, and
I did that on purpose. I wanted to see would you catch me out.
Yeah. So we might talk about our record a bit when we come back. Then, What do you
Yeah,
think?
we'll talk about.
Perfect.
So this is Craig Glenday, the editor-in-chief of Guinness World Records.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here with Craig Glenday, editor-in-chief of Guinness World Records, and like it's quite an amazing job, really, Greg, because you get to witness some fascinating things and travel the world.
Yeah, I've often said I have the the best job in the world, and I can make that official, I suppose. But I do. I get to literally meet the world's most interesting people. They're just everyone who's involved in our book in some way, in shape or form, has got something about them that's just the most something in the world, the most interesting. And they've all got amazing stories. And I get to go to their homes and meet them.
But it's amazing, like,
Yeah.
because it's amazing, like, it started, Greg, didn't it? Like, it was in 1955 when the first book was published.
Yeah, so 55. The idea was because it came out of Sir Hugh Beaver, who was the managing director of the Guinness brewery, and he was struggling to sell, not really struggling, but he was looking for innovative ways to sell Guinness, because Guinness, obviously, they didn't have their own pubs, so they were trying to sell their stout in other people's pubs. So
Yeah.
Guinness were always quite ahead of the marketing game. They still are, really, I think, with their advertising.
Yeah.
So Hugh had this idea. He was out shooting game birds in County Wexford, I think, it was on the Slob, and there was an argument erupted about which is the fastest game bird. Is it the plover? Is it the grouse? Is it the teal? And all his mates couldn't work it out. He stayed in this very big house, he said, with a very expensive library. And even in the library, they couldn't find a book that settled the argument, which is the fastest game bird. And then, so Hugh realised that up and down the country, there'd be people in pubs arguing about all sorts of things. So what you need to do is you need to turn that heat of the argument into the light of knowledge, which is a great phrase, and basically give the book free to pubs. So you stop the argument, you get the book off the shelf, you have a pint of Guinness, and you sort it out. You just find out what the answer is. And
Yeah.
it just ran. It was a great idea. People kept stealing the book, so they sold it, became a bestseller, and here we are 4 years later, still being a bestseller.
I know, it's amazing, like, that it's still such a, phenomenon today. And even with, like, I know even a lot of, even the younger kids are into, like, the gaming records and everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why we're still surviving and thriving, is because we've
You
always
stick-
just reflected what people do. If you're doing gaming, we do gaming. If you're doing fidget spinning, we do fidget spinning. If you're doing bottle flipping, so this new book we've done, the 2020, has got a bit on bottle flipping, because we had lots of claims for it. People are interested in it, so we reflect that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a stuffy old encyclopedia that you just, you pick off the shelf once a year and put back again and never see again. It's about a living, thriving book, and it changes every year, and it's a snapshot of the world. So there's so much going on that, I think that's why we're successful, because we just keep on reflecting what people are doing.
That's it. I think as well, it's like, it's a book you can get lost in, you know what I mean? You can just pick it up and you can find yourself 20 minutes later still flicking through and reading. But I think it does. I like a lot of people just even. I remember my experience as a child. Actually, a friend of mine, I was about 9 or 10, had the book in his house, and his family were in it. They were a family of doctors. There was the most doctors in one family, and I just thought it was amazing the fact they were in this book, and that was my first introduction to it. But I remember the two of us just being that young, looking through the book, and just you get lost in it.
Yeah, I think when you're that age as well, we call it the sweet spot, which is about sort of 8 to 12 years old, when your brain is just enough developed that everything's amazing, and you're starting to see with new eyes the whole world and just all the richness that's out there. And this is the perfect book for just opening your eyes to all the possibilities that you would never even think about knowing about, and suddenly they're all presented in one book, so you can just get lost. And you read about things you didn't even know existed, and people doing things that you can't even conceive of doing. And I think that at 8 to 12, that really blows your mind. So it's a privilege to be in kids' heads at that stage.
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose, like, you can't talk about Guinness without mentioning Ashrita Furman.
Yeah, it's Ashrita Furman, yes. Well, effectively the guy with the Guinness World Records title for having the most Guinness World Records titles.
Yeah.
Because he's done so many over the years, hundreds of them.
Like, he's obviously well known to you now at this stage.
Yeah, I know Ashrita very well. I mean, one of the first people I met, actually, when I took over the job, is that I wanted to go and meet him. And he was in Europe. He's based in New York, in Queens. And I heard he was in Barcelona in training for the record, so I popped over to Barcelona. And he was training for the record, which is the fastest time to push an orange a mile with your nose.
That's hilarious.
This is a bizarre thing. It wasn't his idea. Someone else had begun this I think as a student protest about the grant system or something. And he saw this and thought it was a great idea. He was in training in Barcelona on an Olympic blaze track. So he was sweating, his nose was bleeding, he was actually throwing up because he was determined to set the record. And what is a real sign of Ashrita's power is that he researched the records to the nth degree. He actually sourced some runway. He found what's the smoothest thing you could find in the world that's a mile long, and he found a concourse in JFK Airport, which is marble floor. He researched what's the roundest possible orange variety you get in the world, which is, he found one that was actually a green unripened orange from Florida, and they put the two together, and he smashed the record. That shows the level he'll go to, the dedication he'll put into something, but he's so determined to get the record. So I think, all fair play to him. He's an inspiration to many people.
God, he is. It's amazing. Like, and he has, like, I don't know, how many does he have? Do you know offhand how many he has?
He must now have, over the years he's done probably about 400, and at any one time he has about 150 active records.
Yeah.
So he's pretty determined. Yeah, so I think that was 2004 I first met him. So he must have been one of the first people I met, and we stayed in touch. And he did. If you're ever interested in the record, he did 24 minutes 36 seconds back then, and I think he still has it. Yeah, he still has the record at 22 minutes. If you want to push an orange a mile with your nose, the standard to beat is 22 minutes 41 seconds.
Good luck to anyone trying that. And I suppose there's plenty of celebrities in the world of Guinness Book of Records and footballers and whatnot. I mean, you've got to meet some very famous people. I know one which being the late Michael Jackson.
Yes,
He was a fan of the book, I believe, Greg.
He was a big fan, yes. So he'd met Norris McWhirter, who was our founding editor in the 80s, and they got on very well. And then when I took over, I had a habit of just bothering celebrities. So I'll phone Madonna's agent every couple of years and just say, what's the chance of an interview? And you try Elton John's agent, because they've all got records. They're all interesting people. And then I heard that Michael Jackson was he was staying with will.i.am in a castle in Ireland back in, I think 2006. I wrote to will.i.am's agent and said, any chance you could pass a message on to Michael Jackson? I'd love to him to come to the office. And I got a message back saying, yeah, he'll see you on Tuesday, whatever day it was. And I said, really? And said, yeah, he'll be there at 4 o'clock. Be ready for him. And bizarrely, he turned up. I mean, very, very late, much later than that, but he turned up at the office. And he was so charming and nice, and he met all the staff. He got photographs with him. I'd been to the record shop that day and bought a stack of filler albums for him to sign, which I still have, some of them anyway. And we stayed in touch. He asked me to present his awards at the World Music Awards that year. So I'm a terrible name dropper, but yeah, so I got to go on stage with Beyonce. So Beyonce introduces me onto stage, and then I present to Michael Jackson, which is quite a bizarre experience. Then we stayed in touch. We were going to write a book together, and then we were planning stuff for the This Is It, his final tour, and then of course he died sadly. So
Jesus, yeah, I got it. It's amazing who the people that Guinness has reached and touched, and it's something that's just really fascinating, I think, for everyone. And like for anyone who does want, like people might think even, God, how do you go about getting these? But like people can just go online to the Guinness website and search through, find a record if there's something they think they're good at or they want to try and achieve or beat.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone you see in there has done that at one point. They've gone, I think I could beat this. And that's the best way to do it, is look through the book or go online or watch our YouTube channel or something and then see something and you think, I could do that better. And then you apply it to us. If it's an existing record, it's a free application, so you don't have to pay anything. We just send you the rules. Every record has a set of rules that you must follow. And as long as you follow the rules and you film it properly, obviously we can't get to every record attempt because we're getting about 1,000 a week at the minute. So
is that you get 1,000 a week?
Yeah.
God, that's amazing. And obviously, Greg, they're from all over the world.
I know there's all different languages and everything, so we have to be able to cope with all these things. That's why we have guidelines that says, okay, we can't get to see you, but film it, get independent witnesses, get a logbook, take photographs, do the whole thing, send all that to us. Yeah, it takes sometimes it takes a year for some people,
Yeah, there are a lot of guidelines to people to follow. It obviously has to be fairly regimented and strict enough.
Yeah, because people have to compete against others in exactly the same way, so it's only fair that they follow the same set of guidelines.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you do that, then everyone gets the Guinness World Records certificate and up on the wall, hopefully, and then people tend to they want more. It's a bit like getting tattoos. Once you get one, you want another one, apparently. So
yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Like I don't know if I mentioned to you, myself and Robert, my co-host, have a Guinness World Record.
Yeah, how was that for you? I mean, how was that experience?
I don't know. It was great. I mean, it started first. It came into it was something Guinness World Records, something I'd always been interested in, and I was looking online at work once, and I came across the longest group hug. And I just had an image in my head. I thought, it'd be great fun to do if we could get a few lads that were up for a bit of fun and the crack. And we then decided to do it. We did it for charity in 2017, and we raised I think it was $4,500 for the Irish Cancer Society, and we bet the record. I think it was 26 hours we did it for. And we were delighted. But then to our very upset, Japanese students came back a year later and took the record from us. So but we fought back and we took back the record last year, and we did it for 30 hours and 1 minute. But it was great. We had a big event in the town. We did it outside under a marquee in the centre of our town. It was good. We raised more money for charity, and it was just an all-round good experience and a fun thing to do, And it is. I think that whole thing of having, it's a cool thing to have the Guinness World Record, the official.
Yeah, to say that it means you are the best in the world at something. I mean, that's pretty awesome to say. And
yeah.
Also, it's great that if you raise money for charity, because we do a lot of things. where people, I think it'd be interesting to work out in a year what we contribute in that sense, because I think all the people who run the marathon in costume, and now and then they raise thousands of pounds, you raise thousands,
Yeah, I'd say like
great thing. So
through the years, Guinness must have raised like record-breaking amounts of money for charity.
yeah, I wonder. Yeah, we don't actually record it. Which is
I
an
know.
interesting thing.
Yeah, I know.
Write it down.
What are some of the strangest records you have seen?
Well, I suppose strangest is a bit of a relative term, really, because it depends on what you think is strange. But I'm lucky enough that I've done all the big major records. So I've done the heaviest man, weighed the heaviest woman, measured the tallest man, shortest woman, longest fingernails. I always quote the longest fingernails as being one of the strangest experiences, because again, having seen that in the book as a kid, and wanting to meet these people, Lee Redmond, who had the record at the time, was one of the people I really wanted to get into the office. So we actually flew her over she lived in Salt Lake City, or does live in Salt Lake City, and flew her to the UK, and she's an amazing character. Had these beautiful long nails, because she takes care of them. She did take care of them very well.
Yeah.
Painted them, nail hardness, so they were very smooth. They didn't go all coiled. Sometimes they go coiled, but ours were very smooth.
Yeah.
And 8.5 meters when I saw them.
God. She must have spent a fortune on the old nail paint stuff.
Well, she did, yeah.
Because they're tiny little bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she easily get through a couple of bottles in a session.
God.
Because she layered it on really thick and she painted them very nicely. So she was fascinating, and she showed us how she coped with the world. How did she type an email? She has to use these very long pencils.
Yeah.
She showed us how she made us a sandwich. She washed up afterwards. She even demonstrated how she goes to the bathroom.
God, that's hilarious. But even how does she even function? It's mad that she's found a way. But and her record is kind of, it's something that affects her everyday life, because it's quite difficult for her to carry out tasks.
What to function, yeah, but I suppose you just adapt to it. Like if you had an injury or an amputation or something, you just adapt.
Yeah.
And she had a granddaughter who helped her out a lot, which is useful. And interesting for me is on the way over, she said she couldn't use the bathroom on the plane because she couldn't get in and turn round and shut the door properly because the nails were too big to fit in the cubicle.
God.
And there are times when it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And then, bizarrely, she lost the fingernails in a car crash in 2009. So she did drive, but she wasn't driving this time. I think there was a sister who was driving. And they got T-boned, and she got thrown out of the car, and the process her nails were all ripped off.
That must have been devastating to her.
Yeah, I mean, but interestingly, she wasn't that upset because she reckoned it was a sign from God, she said.
Yeah.
Because it was time, she reckoned, to get rid of the fingernails, and this was God telling her. So that's how she rationalised it in her head.
Yeah. It must have, in a way, it must have been a bit freeing for her to be rid of them in a sense as well.
Yeah, you'd think. Yeah, at last I can live life in a more sort of average way. But she kept the nails because a passerby who saw the accident recognised her. She's very distinctive look with this amazing big shock of white hair, and they collected the fingernails out of the wreckage of the car. And she now has them in a little Ziploc bag as a memento of her time as having the world's longest fingernails. She still has the record for the longest fingernails with a pair of hands ever.
Yeah.
She hasn't lost that record as such. But it's interesting then, what do you do next? We have to try and find someone who's got fingernails that are that long, but we eventually do find them, and these people are out there. It's just the internet's made it easy to find them as well, which is great. So it's much easier now to get hold of them.
Yeah, I'd say it must be compared to what it was years ago. But it's amazing. You just have such an interesting job. The fact that you do get to meet some incredible people.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm blessed, I think, because you get to celebrate. Mostly it's a celebration of that thing that this person's done. They've trained maybe all their life for, or they've been growing all their life in that sense, and bringing them a bit of fame, and and it's touching moments as well. So things like when I measured Sultan Kosev, who's the tallest man at the minute. Well, in fact, when I saw him, he was 8'1", and I measured him again a year later, and he was 8'3". So that very much suggested he was still growing, and so the pituitary gland tumour that he had, which the doctors thought had been cured, because he got measured regularly by Guinness World Records, then we were able to tell the doctor that he wasn't cured and he still needed to be treated.
Jeez,
So he had basically a life-saving operation, you know. So we've given opportunities like that to the shortest people because they get fame. You know, they go in the book, they get read by millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
And then they get asked to go on TV shows and chat shows. And
it kind of helps them out of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the problem is this, I think when you're that size, either too short or too tall, is it's very hard to get work. People shun you in society, you get treated a bit like an outcast.
Of course, yeah.
And then suddenly we come along and they become superstars, you know, and they have these amazing experiences. So that's a nice thing to share as well, to be part of that story and, you know, go with them and travel with them. And, you know, I had a great experience traveling with the tallest man and the shortest man, doing a bit of a world tour with them a few years back. And, it's just, they're amazing people because they've had to put up with so much stuff in their life, so much hardship and trouble that makes them should be celebrated, and that for them is a positive message. They often don't get positive messages throughout their life, so it's nice to come and be able to be part, to bestow that on them, really, in a sense, a bit grand, but it's nice to be the person that helps them a little bit getting out of that situation and taking them around the world.
Craig, I was going to say as well, every year there's a Guinness World Record Day, and I think it's coming up in November this year, I believe.
Yeah, it's usually the second Thursday in November. Everyone around the world, we want them to be attempting records on the day. And we've seen in the past few years, you know, more than 600,000 people take part in events. And in theory, you can do whatever you want for the day, but just let us know well in advance. And this year we're trying to give it a bit of a theme, which is sense of adventure, spirit of adventure.
Yeah.
So 14th of November will be like a global celebration of people's sense of adventure. And it doesn't have to be climbing mountains or, you know, running marathons. It's just whatever is for you inspires that sense of adventure. So we've put a call out already asking people to come and send us their ideas, and we're getting them in. We're getting ideas coming through. And we welcome anyone who's got an idea. Just come to us, guinnessworldrecords.com. In fact, if you do /GWR Day, you'll get to see a bit of briefing about what we're after. But really, you can do anything. It's just about getting out and having a go at it, really. Because it's good fun, as you discovered. It's good fun having a go at records, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is, definitely. It's definitely an experience. Well, Craig, I just want to thank a million for coming on the podcast. It's been a great chat, and you definitely have probably one of the coolest jobs there is out there.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's good to chat. I can talk for hours about this stuff. So I'm very lucky that I've just had such a fantastic experience at Guinness World Records. So.
Okay, so that was my interview with, wait for it, Craig Glenday. My apologies to Craig.
Yes, Craig.
For some reason, look, because his name is Craig Glenday, I was mixing up the G in Craig's surname, and I kept calling him Greg.
But it's nearly Greg. You call him
Greg.
Hello. Very interesting, Greg.
Craig. No, but he's a really...
Craig Glendale.
He's a nice guy.
He seems like a really
He's a really nice guy,
yeah.
and he's really interesting, and he's got a really cool job.
I wonder how he got that job. When he retires, what qualifications do you need? Could I take that job? That'd be pretty cool.
Let's ask him if when he retires.
He's been hanging out with Michael Jackson and Beyonce and will.i.am. I like that idea that he was trying to get in touch with Michael Jackson, and it turned out that Michael Jackson was in a castle in Ireland with will.i.am.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there?
Very random.
Very random.
But I suppose a few cool documentaries people can check out to do with Guinness is there's one there that features actually Craig, and it was on ITV a few years back. If you just go to YouTube and look up Inside Guinness World Records, it's a little ITV special
Okay,
did
cool.
it a few years back. It's worth watching. Another one I want to mention is The Record Breaker.
Yeah.
We'll share links on our Facebook
Perfect,
and Instagram. The Record Breaker is about a Shreda Furman that me and Craig spoke of.
Oh, cool.
It's a little documentary short
Be
about
interesting
him.
to get to speak to him at some stage, wouldn't it?
It's funny. It would be good to talk to him if we could.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention while I'm on I love documentaries and just ones that are to do with Guinness that are really good and really worth watching.
100%.
Breaking and Entering. It's a comedy documentary about people attempting and breaking Guinness World Records.
Okay.
That one's called Breaking and Entering. This one is very good. I don't know if you've heard of this one. It's about more to do with the gaming records. The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. It's called The King of Kong. Have you ever heard of that one?
No.
It's definitely worth it. If you look
It's
it up.
Donkey Kong, is it?
Donkey Kong, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it follows.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Donkey Kong,
It's a battle for the high score in Donkey Kong.
Wow,
so
okay.
it follows Steve Wiebe. He's a really likable guy. He's a teacher in America who's class at Donkey Kong.
And can I just stop? Donkey Kong, isn't he like a Mario character or like
Donkey
Mario
Kong?
Kart?
Donkey Kong is a game that was out on the old gaming systems. You know, like the big gaming system.
Oh, okay.
What do you call them? Arcade games.
Arcade games.
Donkey Kong
like
was an
Pac-Man
arcade
and
game.
that type of thing.
That's where Mario made his first appearance on
really?
Donkey Kong.
Okay, yeah.
You controlled Mario as he made his way up to rescue the princess who was held by Donkey Kong.
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
avoid barrels that Donkey Kong is thrown at
He's
you.
a gorilla, isn't he?
He's a gorilla,
He's
yeah.
not anything to do with a donkey, is he?
No, he's not anything to do with Donkey. It's just his birth name.
No, just Donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey Kong. King Kong's son Donkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Donkey Kong, right? Steve Wiebe, it follows his journey into breaking the Guinness World Record for the high score in Donkey Kong. And he's trying to beat Billy Mitchell, who is the current...
Mitchell. That's
the
your man
current
from EastEnders.
No. He's the current record. But I'm telling you, it is a very good documentary. I love them type of documentaries.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
And
What's
it's
that one
really
called
good.
again?
It's called The King of Kong.
The King of Kong.
Yeah.
And these are all on YouTube, are they?
Well, you'll find them online.
Okay.
I'm not saying
illegally download
not
them.
illegally.
Have you any good like illegally downloading sites?
No. I'm just saying you'll find them definitely.
What are they like? What was that? Pirate Bay? Wasn't that? That's probably
The
gone.
Pirate Bay. Yeah,
That's
but we
probably
don't
gone.
condone
No,
any
but
stuff
it's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
It's not gone.
Is it not?
No, still there. But okay, so The King of Kong, and as well, there's another one called Man versus Snake. It's about there was another game. I don't know. It's something to do. It's like Snake
On your phone,
and it's getting
on the Nokia.
Yeah, but it was an arcade version of
Okay.
Snake. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know what
probably
it
all
used to
started
be
off in
called.
the arcade, did they? Yeah.
So Man versus Snake and King of Kong. Definitely watch them. They're very good.
Okay, I'll check them out.
Right.
And I just thought it was interesting that, like, I know because we spoke, but it came from Guinness. The guy was originally working for Guinness. Who came
Hugh
up with it.
Beaver, yeah.
But like the fact that the Guinness World Record book comes from Ireland, which is pretty cool. Like.
Yeah.
So it's like
Originated here, like.
and like he was talking about, I would never thought about like so back in the day when people go like which bird is the fastest bird.
That's how it
and
came
they
up
can't
with,
look
yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
he saw, but they can't look it up, and then they like go into the pub and they take the book down.
Yeah.
And then they'd have a pint of
It'd
Guinness.
solve arguments.
Yeah,
like.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I thought it was very good. I thought it was really
But
good.
it's mad how it has stayed relevant and it has stayed. Do you know what I mean? Like every year you see Guinness World Records. A lot of people look forward to it coming out every
Well, there's
year.
idiots like us who go and break records.
Yeah.
Do it. You know what I mean?
But you know,
That's
it
the
is
crack.
so true. When our record for the hug was broken, I had this overwhelming desire to get it back.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
We'll go back a bit, so right.
Okay.
I remember like years ago when you were doing the first one
In 2017.
You rang me and asked me to do it with you, and I couldn't do it at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I remember seeing you all getting it organised and getting it ready to go and do it, and you did it in the Welcome Inn here, which is
Yeah.
a hotel here in town. And then you got it, and I was thinking, feck it anyway. I should have done it.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
got a
for the
feckin'
crack.
record then.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like,
you probably thought they're not going to do that.
no, I did.
Yeah.
I knew you'd do it, but I just thought, like, I remember you ringing me and you were feeling so secretive. Like, you were, I need you to commit and say you're going to do this thing, but I can't tell you what it is. Will you do it? And I was like, that sounds dodgy. What is it? Like, I can't tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. We're going hugging.
Yeah. Well, it's a very random
yeah,
thing.
and
that.
I just couldn't. I wasn't around at the time. I wasn't able to do it. But then the second time you rang, I was like, fucking 100%
Yeah.
definitely going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
so it was brilliant.
It was good crack. And you know what? Like, we were on national television.
We got on the telly. We got
on national
We got onto a
television.
program called the 6 o'clock show, which is on Virgin Media, which is like was the old TV3.
Yeah, it's a big station in
And
Ireland.
like we're on that.
We're on the evening
We're on the
television.
television.
I don't know. Just for the crowd, we'll share a clip of that on our
Yeah,
Instagram and Facebook. But we got a national
I remember
television telling
we're
the
in
story.
my car on the way up, and like we're looking at each other, going like, "We're going to be on the telly for hugging each other." Like,
Yeah, madness.
Just sitting there.
But standing up for 31 hours
Well,
is
that-
not an easy
30 hours
feat.
in 1 minute, yeah.
It was difficult, like
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, and it was cold
tough going.
enough
There was
that night.
times like because people were there during the day cheering us on, and people were there kind of in the evening time, night time. Then from like about 2 o'clock in the morning till like 7, there wasn't many
No.
people around,
And
it
it was
a bit,
tough,
that was
like.
a tough time. It really was.
Like the last few, like 31 hours. I don't know.
30 hours. 30
Dude,
hours in 1 minute, wasn't
30 hours in 1 minute. Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
you couldn't bring yourself to do it again. So,
But as you said, that like you said that the time you did it before, and then a bunch of lads from Japan bet the record, and they didn't beat it by that much, did they?
No, they did bet it by I think a couple of 15 minutes or something like that.
So then you said we're going to push it out and beat it in 4 hours.
Like
extra.
I said to Craig there, it's a cool
And just
thing.
a warning for anybody who's out there thinking that they can go beat that record. Best of luck to you, because it was tough going. There was a lot of times when we wanted to quit and not do it, and we kind of just had to. I think
push through because it was for charity.
Because it was for charity, and then we had told people in the town that we were going to finish at 5:00 on the start. We started Saturday morning. At like 11, wasn't it? And then we finished at 5 on the Sunday, and like people were coming around, and we had thousands of people.
Thousands of people lined the streets.
Millions of people coming from all over Ireland to come and see
More people watched us hugging than the All-Ireland final.
Yeah.
Lies. So the 14th of November is Guinness World Record Day. I think that's what
as you said. Yeah.
So
the second Thursday of November. So
we're kind of thinking, we were kind of in talks about possibly doing a few records ourselves. We're planning maybe doing something to celebrate Guinness World Record Day.
There might be something coming,
Yeah, and it's just for people to go on to Guinness's website and look.
Look, it was great crack. Anybody's out there thinking of doing it, you get yourself in the book. You get yourself, even if you wanted to know, right? If you go on to Google and you type in "world's longest hug,"
you'll see us there
straight away. Our names come up in Google, and you see us there standing in the marquee.
But it's a cool thing to for the crack. If you've got a YouTube channel, if you're thinking of doing something different and a bit of crack, it has to be now done in a public space.
Yeah.
But
there are some rules that they kind of put in. You have to stick by.
You have to follow the rules.
They're quite strict.
When you apply, they'll send you the guidelines. Every record has its own guidelines, but it's worth doing. It's a bit of crack.
Yeah, and I've got a nice little. Thing in my house
the record is cool. It's
You've got two of them.
Yeah, like I never had a college degree hanging on the wall, but
I've got two Guinness records for hugging boys.
Yeah,
so I wasn't in the first one. So there was you, Stephen. Sorry, you are Stephen. You, Stephen, and Rattigan. No, there was myself, you, Nicky, and Brian. Nicky Kearney, and Brian Cawley, and
Sean Conway.
Sean Conway
did the first one.
Yeah,
and Sean was in Australia at the second time. So
I got subbed
you
in.
took his place. Yeah.
So you've hugged Brian and Nicky for 56 hours.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's mad what people will do.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit disgusting when he was talking about
your one's fingernails.
The fingernails making a sandwich.
Yeah, I'd be like, I know
because I've often because
their fingernails would be rubbing off the bread.
Yeah, but even that, like, do you ever go out and you come back and you've been like doing something in the garden and you get all that dirt under your fingernails? Could you imagine the stuff living under her nails?
But as Craig said though, she took care of them. Do you know what I mean?
As Greg said.
Did I say Craig?
No, I'm only joking. You got it right.
You got it right. Yeah. She took care of them, like.
Yeah.
But I like the animal records as well. We talk
one thing about that before is just with her nails, right? So
don't dare interrupt me again.
Shut up. So Lee Redmond, I thought it was a man when I first read it, but anyway, Lee Redmond. So it took her nearly 30 years to grow her nails to a record feat. Her nails were 28 feet and 4.5 inches long.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's right?
28 feet, 4.5 inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
In February 2008. The longest single nail was on her right thumb, which no, that's not right. 28 feet. That's fucking like, what the fuck? No, sorry. The longest nail was on her. Combined, I think. Maybe.
Oh, combined. It must be. I was thinking
the longest single nail was on her right thumb, which reached 2 feet 11 inches.
Oh, okay.
She said she started to grow her nails in 1979. It was kind of a challenge to herself to see how far they could go before they started twisting out of shape. And it says, unfortunately, then they snapped off in 2009 in a car accident.
Like Craig said,
as I said
there.
She wasn't driving because, like, I presume she couldn't drive.
No, I don't think so. But it's funny how she mentioned, she showed them how she went to the bathroom.
She probably didn't like go. I showed them. She probably like.
Oh no, she did. She demonstrated.
She come in here and watch this. Okay,
close the door. Watch. Cover your nose.
And then, like he said, he got the world's tallest man.
Yeah, it's always in the book every year, isn't it? The tallest and shortest.
8.53.
They have that gigantism, don't they?
Yeah. It must be bad, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be that tall, like, even to try and get clothes.
I remember the documentary about Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Do you remember Andre the Giant?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Very good documentary about him. I love my documentary.
He used to be able to put through a lot of pints.
In a session, he could drink, I think, something like 5 or 6 bottles of wine and just endless 20 pints of beer, and it's just because he was so huge. That sounds like a night out with you, yeah. Yeah, more like 4 beers for me. I can't hold my drink. But Andre, it's a really cool documentary, but he struggled a lot. Just even getting into a car.
It must be difficult.
On a plane, he used to have to sit, like, he needed 2 seats for himself. Yeah. And he couldn't go to the bathroom on a plane because of his sheer size. Like, because for him, he couldn't actually fit.
Yeah, you wouldn't get into that. You wouldn't get in there.
So, yeah, they go through
and, like,
a lot of hardships.
he was lucky enough to be famous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
so
you know what?
So he might have a bit of money to be able to pay for the bigger seats to do whatever. But like, if you're that big tall person, you can't even get clothes. And then you've got like the annoying thing of any time you see someone tall, people go, "What's the weather like up there?"
But that's what I find
Do you play
is really,
basketball?
it's really good about Guinness. The fact that they bring attention to those people in a positive way, and they say, "Look, you're not someone who's strange or weird. You're someone who is amazing."
Yeah,
and
put you in the
got,
book. Put you in the book, yeah.
But no, but it's they celebrate people as Craig
And then the
said.
smallest guys. Would you rather be the world's tallest man or the world's smallest man?
I think I would rather be tallest. I think, tallest.
I think so. Yeah.
I just would. I think,
But yeah, I think so. I think I go tallest as well.
Like I've always looked up to you anyway.
Yeah.
If I was
you're,
short.
but you're taller than me.
I know, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
because we were doing that hug. Like, you're taller than me, and Brian is taller than me, and Nikki's probably taller than me. But we were either side, so I had like my arms up on your shoulders like that.
I can't believe we hugged for that length of time.
Yeah, we haven't touched since. We sit either ends of the room here on the microphone.
yeah. It's very distressing anyway.
Yeah, but I've got some Guinness World Record facts. You probably have a few.
Facts!
Facts. Well, not facts. Well, just like interesting ones that I.
I have no facts.
Have you
believe it
not?
or not?
Oh, well, that's fair enough. Well, I'll take over here with the facts, right? A guy in America.
America, actually, I've one fact, is holds the most Guinness World
I'd
Records
imagine
in terms
so.
of
They
countries.
they're the kind of
They do,
eccentric
though,
people who'd be at it, you know. So, U.S. resident Donald Gorsk consumed his
Gorsk.
Yeah, his 26,000 McDonald's Big Mac on October 11th, 2012.
Yeah.
40 years of eating Big Macs on a daily basis every day. Yeah, and 26,000.
I believe he featured in the documentary Super Size Me
Did he?
for
Yeah.
eating Big Macs.
Yeah, like
Is there a picture of him?
I just got.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I can imagine he's fat.
He's not.
Is he not?
If you Google him,
Well, maybe if that's the only thing he eats today.
yeah,
is a
he's
Big
thin.
Mac.
He eats Big Macs. I don't think he's fat. He's obsessed with Big Macs. Big Macs are nice,
They're lovely, but
they don't fill you. I don't
no,
think.
and every day I wouldn't have one every day because
And his wedding day, they had one as well. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of,
really
from
on
the
his wedding
documentary.
day. Yeah,
But he just,
and did everyone have a Big Mac?
I don't know.
Because that wouldn't be too bad if you went to a wedding. You get
The
Big Mac.
sauce is lovely
It
in a
is.
Big
That's
Mac.
what makes it. Yeah. Do you eat the gherkins? I always take them off.
I eat them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't mind
take them off. Yeah,
They're nice. I think
I probably have eaten them with them in there as well.
they're grand.
They
I
are,
think
yeah.
they add a bit of something to it.
This was-
People take them out just for the sake of it.
There is a
We've
thing.
gone off key here.
But anyway, yeah. But he's had 26,000 of them. His cholesterol must be through the fucking roof.
I don't know. Yeah, it should be a part of a balanced diet, I guess.
Yeah, there's a record for the most amount of apples cut
With a samurai sword.
Yeah, no, he did it with a chainsaw. Johnny Strange. So
Johnny Strange.
So he had in 1 minute he cut 8 apples. He put the apples in his mouth and he cut them in half with a chainsaw.
Oh God, that's a dangerous one.
Yeah.
Now, Shreda Furman, who we spoke of, is he has a record for the most apples cut with a samurai sword.
Oh, wow.
Like the initial guy that held that record, if I'm right, was had
Japanese guy,
training with samurai swords. Shreda then, being himself wanting to break a record, practiced, and then he broke the record.
He sounds like a man who takes it seriously, like
very seriously. But fair play to him.
Craig was even saying, like, when he was breaking that record with the orange, he looked for the flattest surface. He found that. Looked for the most roundest.
He did
orange.
his research.
Yeah, and what did he do? He did a mile in 22 minutes, pushing with an orange.
Pushing an orange with his nose, and it was in JFK Airport or whatever, at the marble floor.
Yeah, like.
That is cool.
As you were saying, like, his neck must be killing him.
Oh, his
And,
neck,
like,
yeah.
he didn't try that one. He'd been practicing that, so he'd
Yeah.
been doing it loads of times.
Fair play to him.
The longest metal coil passed through the nose and out the mouth. That's a record, right? Apparently, anyway, it's a real
God.
thing. Andrew Staunton,
Disgusting.
a sideshow performer in Las Vegas, achieved 11 feet of coil in March 2012. So through his nose and out the mouth,
Oh God, that's rotten.
isn't it?
Oh, I just hate that now.
Have you ever wondered how many cans a bird can open in a minute? Zach the macaw opened 35 cans in 1 minute.
Opened.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
35 cans.
Yeah,
He
so-
could have gave them to Andre the Giant
There
if they
you
were
go.
beers.
Yeah, he's the only one that can keep them going for him. That's not bad going, isn't it? 35 in a minute. Macaw, yeah, macaw. The world's longest legs is a Russian woman whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah. She's on, if you Google that.
So her legs are like over 4 feet
And
long.
she's fairly attractive.
She is.
If I
Like,
remember
and if you're into legs,
correctly.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's quite, like 4 foot is quite a long leg.
Legs, yeah.
Do you know?
4 foot. That's
leg.
like your length.
Yeah.
You're 4 foot tall.
I'm a 4 foot tall.
So you're the height of her legs. I know
I'm
you're
not that small, okay? So another one, the fastest talker. That could be you.
Who would that be? I'm not
Could
that
be
fast
you.
a photographer.
Canadian guy, Sean Shanahan. So he recited Hamlet's "To be or not to be." So that's 260 words, and he did it in 23.8 seconds.
Yeah, but I wonder, could you understand that if you heard it?
I don't know. Like,
I want to go if I can go to some people like auctioneers. Yeah, but they don't. You know when you hear auctioneers, but they don't say anything right. They're not going. Yeah, some of them go. Do I hear two? Do I hear six? Some of them are literally just going.
Six
seven,
of the four, you got a man in the
eight,
yeah.
9.
There's no need for it, like at all. It's just,
Yeah.
Isn't there like? Do you ever see that program, Storage Wars?
Yeah,
on telly, and
I like that. Sure.
Yeah. Most glasses balanced on the chin. This is your man again. A sheet for
Is that a treat?
75 pint beer glasses in 10.6.
75 beer glasses. The only thing is when they topple, they are going to come down and smash. You have to move out of the way quick.
Yeah. Most one finger push-ups. In 1992, Paul Lynch performed 124.
That'd be tough.
That would be tough going. The Hairiest Family. Do you ever see them?
Yeah.
They're in the book, yeah. So the Mexicans, Victor,
They have that has a
98% of the bodies are covered in fur, yeah.
That's a condition.
It's a medical condition. But
yeah.
I suppose, like you're saying, like they've got themselves into, they've become, rather than just be the freaks down the road, the hairy guys, they're in the book now, and they're kind of, there's something a bit more than just...
Speaking of that, I can't think of the medical term of it, where they have the hair over 95% of their body.
Hairyitis.
But if I'm right, I don't know if it's hairyitis, but...
we call it hairyitis.
That is where the story of Beauty and the Beast originated.
Oh, right.
That there was a
hairy
woman, a hairy guy who I can't look. I don't even know the story.
A man who fell in love with a hairy woman.
Yeah, but something to do with that is the origination of Beauty and the Beast.
So some of them are odd, right? Longest time with a nail in their head.
Oh, stop! Oh God!
Robin Henshaw from Stoke.
I'm very
had a 1-inch rusty nail stuck between his ear and eye for 22 years.
Oh, sorry, I can't.
22 years it was there.
I can't do this.
You can't. You get. Oh, geez, you do get bad.
No,
with
I am
old,
squeamish with stuff like that. I apologise.
That's all right. You don't have to apologise. Let me see another one here. British man Gary Turner. Have you heard of this guy? He's got the world's stretchiest skin.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him.
He's got a medical condition as well.
Yeah,
and
elastic skin.
Yeah, so his collagen becomes like defective, and he's able to like.
I don't think it's fairly harmless. I'd imagine just having.
Yeah, well, it gives him hypermobile joints and loose skin, but I think he can kind of go beyond range with his joints and stuff. And
Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's like a human Stretch Armstrong. Yeah.
Well, we kind of covered a lot of it, haven't we? Here,
we've done a fair bit of Guinness.
It's been very interesting.
There's loads. You could go on forever.
You could go on forever.
You could go on forever.
But we won't.
We won't.
No, but it was an interesting episode.
Stephen always likes to end the episode by
I just
saying,
kind of like
that was interesting.
I like to look back and say,
reflect back there now.
I thought we talked to Craig Glenday.
We talked to Craig Glenday,
and he's actually one of the longest serving. The second longest serving editor of Guinness.
Okay, so do you reckon he's going to try and get the record?
He's going to try and get the record himself, I think.
There you go, yeah.
I know, he's a really nice guy, Craig, and we really enjoyed having him on the show.
Yeah,
he's
a
good guy. Friend of the show now.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, even though it took us a while to get his name.
Should we wrap it up to me?
We'll wrap it up, hey. We will. And you keep an eye on the old Rob Rad podcast Instagram, because we might be making an old announcement about us doing trying to set a new record at some stage.
Yeah, and just you can get involved with the show, and it's a good ways that we can share with people.
We've got some interesting stuff coming up in the future that we might be
it's all lies.
Looking for involvement from the public from as well and stuff like that. So keep an eye on it. So Rob Rat podcast on Instagram.
Thanks for listening.
Guys, and we will catch you next week. So thanks very much. Chat you. Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Rob Rat Podcast. Be sure to check out our social media for updates on the next episode. And if you liked what you heard, then let us know by hitting the subscribe button, sending us a message, and telling a friend, because that's how the podcast grows. Thanks for listening.